All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Selamat pagi, Guten Morgen. Welcome to the public lecture, Digital Technology in University Collaboration. We would like to welcome Professor Andreas De Hepner, Vice President International Affairs, University of Applied Science, Upper Austria. Professor Peter Kramser, Host Professor, University of Applied Science, Upper Austria. Dr. Sigmund Nemeti, Commercial Section, Austrian Embassy. Dr. Kerdid Simbolon, Dean Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Universitas Kristen Indonesia, along with the Vice Dean, Head of Study Programs, lecturers, and students of Universitas Kristen Indonesia. Also greetings to the participants who are joining online via Zoom. Welcome to Universitas Kristen Indonesia. My name is Benedicta as the Master of Ceremony. Now, let us watch the performance of traditional dance, ondel-ondel dance from Betawi, Jakarta. Please give a big round of applause. All right, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we come into the public lecture session with the theme Digital Technology in University Collaboration. Let us welcome our moderator to the stage, Ibu Santri Cynthia Purba. Santri Cynthia Purba, born on March 30, 1994. She completed her undergraduate education at UKI in 2016 in mathematics education. She received a master's degree from National Chung Cheng University in 2019, taking up mathematics. Her focus is graph theory. Currently, she works as a lecturer in mathematics education at the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Universitas Kristen Indonesia. The topic of her current research is education, graph theory, published in national and international journals. Everyone, please give a big round of applause to Ibu Santri Cynthia Purba.
Yeah. Thank you to Ms. Bene who already invited me to this stage. And welcome to all of us. Welcome to our speakers from Upper Austria University. And also welcome to Vice-Rector of our university, Ma'am Iyad. And then also for the deans. Here I see some deans, Ma'am Susan. And then also the third speaker of us today is the Dean of Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Mr. Kerdid Simbolon. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. I think you are lazy or boring because you are waiting so long for 1 hour, more than 1 hour, right? So, good morning. Okay, thank you. Okay, now we will learn amazing topic with the amazing expert. As we know, our topic is digital technology in university collaboration. And here we have 3 speakers. We'll explain about many things, about their research, about the technology in education, especially in education. So I would like to invite the speakers to the stage, but I have to read their biography shortly because they have so many biography, right? There's a long biography, so I want to read them briefly and only a short biography. May you help me to make it on the monitor? Okay, here we are. We have the first speaker is Professor Andreas De Hepner. Andreas De Hepner, born March 7, 1968. He holds the position of the Vice President International and is a professor of marketing at the University of Applied Science, Upper Austria. He holds a master's degree from the Johannes Kepler University of Linz and a doctoral degree from the Karl Franz University of Grha. And as the Vice President International, he is responsible for development and implementation of the internationalization strategy, as well as the development of new international study program. And he is also in charge of building and managing relationship with partner university, international networks, and international student recruiting department, as well as the international offices. And if I read it, the whole short biography of him, we need time. So I directly invite Professor Andreas De Hepner to the stage. Please welcome to the stage and give him applause. Welcome, Professor. Yes. And the second one, our speaker is Dr.rer.pol Veda Sitepu, SS Master of Art. Veda Sitepu, as we know, she is a Vice-Rector in our university, has been teaching at the English Literature Study Program of Universitas Kristen Indonesia since 1992. She earned her doctoral degree in higher education from the University of Kassel, Germany, and her master's degree in English, especially language and literature teaching, from the Ateneo de Manila University, Philippines. She teaches learning strategies in higher education and then research methodology. Her research interests cover English as a foreign language in Indonesia because English is our foreign language, not our mother language. Okay, and then she recently published a monograph entitled "And then Developing Gender-Responsive Curriculum of English Literature in the Freedom of Learning Area." As you know, we call it MBKM. And she is now Vice President for Students Affairs and Cooperation at the University of our university in Jakarta, Indonesia. Welcome to Ma'am Yat. And then the third one, our speakers is Dr.rer.pol Kerdid Simbolon, M.Pd, was born on December 1, 1966. He holds the position of Dean of the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, UKI, and as a lecturer in study program of mathematics education in the same faculty. He completed his master degree at the Indonesian Kristen University here in Education Management Studies in 29, and completed his doctoral program at the State University of Jakarta in Education Research and Evaluation. He also an educational consultant at SMP Advent Tigalingga, North Sumatra, Secretary General at Pormantis and Pabolon, Jabodetabek, and Chairman of Science, Technology, and Human Resources at the Indonesian Waste Management Association. And here they are. We already have 3 speakers in the stage, and please give them applause. Thank you. Okay, we're directly to hear the talk about the digital technology in university collaboration, especially for the main speaker from Austria, already with us. So for Professor Andreas De Hepner, we have 25 minutes with you. 25 minutes. So it's a little bit short. So here, the stage is yours, and please welcome to him again. Big applause.
Yeah, that is also working. Yeah, I prefer to stand.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, okay. My slides are.
Slide, please.
Can you see this? Yeah, okay. Well, thank you very much for having me here. When I came in, I saw the many students waiting, and we apologize for having you kept waiting so long. That is not fair. But also what I saw is that still with your masks, I saw smiling eyes, right, of some of you. And I can tell you that one of my research agendas is, right, yeah. One of my research agendas is emotions and decisions. And I can tell you one first learning. We talk a lot about infections in these days, right? There is one infection that is 100% infectious, but it is positive. And that's the power of a smile. You can try that out. Yeah? You see a person, you smile at a person, and you see her smiling back. Do this very often. Can I have the next slide, please? So I will very quickly, in 2 minutes, explain you where I am from, invite you to see me and my colleagues at our institution. We just signed an agreement, and we are very happy that we now collaborate. We are in the middle of Europe, and you see here, that's quite far from you. But it's in a manageable distance. And when coming to Austria, you will experience how it feels to be in the middle of this European continent. Next one, please. We are following in our studies the Bologna system. We have bachelor's, master's, and PhD degrees, which we offer in German and in English language. And you are invited to join. Next one, please. Yeah, this is maybe some of the advantages, and one of our big advantages at our institution is that you have a fixed length of studies. We can manage this because we are small. We have around 6,000 students, and all of our students do their bachelor's degree in 3 years and their master's in 2 years. We are a public institution, and that means we are lucky to be equipped with a nice infrastructure at all our campuses. Next one, please. This gives you a little overview of what we are doing. We are trying to bridge the knowing-doing gap. So we combine the theory and the application in our fields, and that are engineering, that is medicine, that is computer science, that is life sciences, and that is ultimately business. Next one, please. We have 4 schools in different locations, and all of them are dedicated to one topic: computer science, medical, business, and the whole field of engineering. Next one. That's the most important one for you. If you scan one of these QR codes, you are directly in touch with us, either through WhatsApp or you meet one of our student ambassadors, and the one in the middle, the chat, if you address this QR code, you are reaching directly out to me. I'm answering all the chat questions that come from any student in the world. That keeps me busy many nights, but I want to do that. Next one, please. So, and this is how it looks like in Austria. The river is a little bit too green here. No, it's not like that. Yeah. Well, next one. So now I would like to briefly talk to you students about what does technology help us in international relations, in how we connect your university and mine, your students and mine. Next one, please. Why am I here? And why did Angela invite me to come to this place? Because we want to do better for you students. We want to help you to see other places of the world. We want to facilitate your mobility. We want to increase the number of students from Europe that come to your place, because you will figure out that they are a little bit different. And the difference is the important thing. You will understand why they are how they are, and they understand why you are how you are. Ultimately, international relations on the higher education level prevent us from conflicts and war. And we have too much of war currently. So the better we connect, the better it is for us. Next one, please. We can see international relations as a kind of a chess game. Next slide, please. That's an insert. Yeah. If we and the Christian University here collaborate, we play a little chess game. Everyone plans in advance what we are going to do, and opposed to a chess game, in our case, both parties win. But actually, it is a game. You all know that artificial intelligence now helps to be the better chess players. Artificial intelligence is clever enough to beat the best human chess players. So if we see international relations as a chess game, technology might help us to be better. Next one, please. Can you change? Yeah. And the next, please. Yeah. Or we can see international relations as a kind of diplomacy. So what we are doing here with our friends from the Christian University is diplomacy. What does diplomacy do? We want to figure out what separates us and what unites us, and we would discuss about that. Yeah? So what we are doing and what you will be doing when you move to Austria, you are an ambassador. You are an ambassador of your country in my country. That's a very important role. We have a representative from the Austrian embassy here today. Those people play the role of bridging the gap between countries. And you can be one of those. You can be ambassadors of Indonesia to Austria and vice versa. Next one, please. This is now from business studies. What is value? What is value? Value is the benefits that you get minus the cost that you pay. That is value. It's a simple equation. When you are moving to another place for studies, you will calculate what do you get and what do you give. And if that what comes out is positive, then you have value. And you should consider this simple equation that goes back to the 80s of the last century. What do you get minus what do you pay? Next one, please. And now you can, who is clicking? Go down one, give me all of them. That does not work otherwise. Stop. Okay. Yeah. So how can now digital technologies make it easier for us to establish the relation between our two universities? It can help us to ease preparation. It can help us to facilitate your career path. If we know what you are doing, if our systems understand that you are going to another country for studying and then for an internship and then maybe for a job, if we understand that, we can support you in the best possible way. Because in times like these, we are not able anymore to manage all the information that we have on paper and pencil. Next slide, I'll give you a short example. You all know Google. One advice, you do not have to reinvent the wheel when you are going for digital technologies in your own setting. Did you know that Google has a very easy and free tool that allows you to limit the search to certain websites? That's very important because the problem is not to get information, the problem we have is to get too much information. What we are doing using Google, we are connecting all our partner universities and not the rest of the world. And then we are searching. For instance, we want to figure out which of our partner universities offers a certain service to their students. And then we are using this technology, which is a standard technology, only to find among our 200 partner universities what we are looking for. Very easy and using existing technology, but it's digital technology. Next one, please.
Next slide.
Yeah. Please click through. One after the other. Yeah, no, go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead, go ahead. And stop. What you see here is your career. Can you see that? Before you start studying with us or with any university, you are completely unknown. And then we identify that you maybe are interested in studying at the Christian University here. We know a little bit about you, but not too much. Then we start asking. And at a certain point, we see you as a qualified potential student because we know what you have done, we know what you are interested in, we know what you are achieving for. And then you are an applicant and you are a valued person to us because then we inform you, we give you knowledge, we provide you with help to be our student. And then you become a student. And after 3 years, you graduate. And maybe then you go on studying or you go to the employment market, which is very important because then we know that our student has studied this subject and is now an important manager or an important medical doctor in this hospital. We know about you. And then we can address you and ask you, you studied with the Christian University, why did you do that? What did you like? What did help you? What would you recommend to other students? Yeah? This is impossible to manage without technology, and it's to your benefit. So we try to better understand from the very beginning what you need in order to serve you perfectly to what you will become. Because you will become those people that tune the future for us. And that's what we only can achieve with digital technologies. Next one, please. Artificial intelligence is an increasing subject that we are discussing about. We are now asking ourselves, and maybe the one or the other wants to join in his or her research, how can AI help us to better serve you students? For instance, AI can help us to predict the likelihood that our students have chosen and will be happy in the subject that they have selected. It might help us to predict, to give you advice what to our mind would be the best solution for you. And you decide, it's not us who decide, but you can help you with our predictions. That's what AI might be able to do for us. Next one. Go down, please, 3. One more and one more. That's now interesting. We are talking about digital technology and culture. You all are used to Zoom and Teams and whatever conferences, right? We had a lot of virtual teaching and studying. Did you know that these technologies helped us to move closer to each other? Not only because time is not that much of an issue, space is not that much of an issue, it also helped us to understand each other better. You might have suffered from virtual learning and studying. I am happy in a sense, because you grew. You learned so much more. For instance, one short story. There are people in the world who are monochronic. You know what that means? Austrians and Germans are like that. We do one thing after the other. And there are people in the world who do things parallelly, who can do this and this and this at the same time. Most likely these people do not understand each other, because the ones are straightforward, the other ones are kind of bright. You know what happened with the Teams and Zoom meetings? The monochronic people like us became more polychronic. We Austrians and Germans, we understood that listening to a meeting and maybe reading the newspaper at the same time, and I know you students did that as well sometimes, right? Listening to a lecture and doing something which the teacher cannot see, that works. And at the same time, those people who are doing things parallelly understood that doing it one by one is also necessary. So we merged. The world became smaller, and we increased our understanding through technology. That's very important. Next slide, please.
Next slide.
Yeah. Go down. Yeah. Thank you. These are now some concerns that I have. And of the few concerns that I have, one is very important. Technology helps, but what if people do not have access to this technology? How can we balance those that have full access to technology and those that do not? Would that be unfair? Would that create a society of two classes, the one that own the technology and the others that do not? This is what we have to take care of. We have to be very aware to help those elements or people of the society that have not the technology to get fit in it. Second point, what about data protection? What about keeping own data safe? That is unsolved, and that we have to also work on. We should not only be excited about technology and do everything and say, yes to everything. No, we should do that. We should be concerned about those issues that might happen. Next one, please. Go down. And this is already my last slide. And please feel invited, you students, in your research to help us to tackle these problems in the future. How can legal and ethical issues in digitalization be resolved for a better society? How can we help those people that do not have access to the technology to get it? One agenda. You know the Metaverse. Some said that I look like Mark Zuckerberg today. I don't know why. Yeah? Metaverse. How does the Metaverse change the educational area? Will we study and learn in the Metaverse in a couple of years? Or will we study in the real world plus in the Metaverse? We don't know. That's what we have to do research on. And finally, which decisions that we are making day by day should we leave to technology, to AI, and which ones should we keep as a human being? This is also very important. And this is an ethical and a moral question. So, summing up, we have a lot of possibilities with digital technology in education. We have some advantages and we have some concerns. And research, as you are the ones that help us to tackle those concerns and to bring the world a little bit forward through technology in education. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Andreas De Hepner. Thank you very much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to the second speaker for us today. Dr.rer.pol Veda Sitepu, SSMA, Vice-Rector for Students Affairs and Cooperation, Universitas Kristen Indonesia. 25 minutes, the stage is yours. Please give her big applause. Slide, please.
I prefer to use the pulpit so that you will not see my, I do not have to feel, inconfident, because I am in one stage with Dr. Zehetner. So, sehr geehrter Herr Professor Dr. Andreas Zehetner, Vice President, International Affairs, University of Applied Sciences, Upper Austria, Herr Professor Dr. Peter Kremse, Host Professor at the University of Applied Sciences, Upper Austria, and Herr Dr. Simbolon from Austrian Embassy Commercial Section. So I'm going to deliver a speech entitled Technology and Education and its Impact on Society. With emphasis, of course, on our experience as Indonesia dealt with COVID-19 pandemic almost 3 years ago. Therefore, my presentation will cover higher education in Indonesia, the challenge of higher education in Indonesia, the impact of COVID-19 pandemic, the wake of online then hybrid classes, and the use of technology in general and of course in Indonesia in particular. And this paper will conclude with, of course, a conclusion and recommendation. Next slide, please. So here is the structure of my presentation. Next, please. So let me highlight our guests and also students of Universitas Kristen Indonesia of the higher education in Indonesia. So it is governed under the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology, and it was actually started with the opening of the Stovia long ago before the independence of our country. So to date, there are 4,700 higher education institutions in Indonesia, but then only less than 5% is owned by the government. So from the very beginning, private sectors have already helped the government in provision of higher education in Indonesia. So higher education in Indonesia actually observes several types of school, namely non-degree vocational institution, higher learning institution, which offer only several study program of the same field, and or we can call it monodiscipline. And also the degree cover 1 to 3 years of non-degree vocational degree program and bachelor degree program. The length of studies span from 1 to 6 years, depending on the type of the degree one is pursuing. So when talking about Indonesian higher education, the role of private sector should be acknowledged at all times, as I mentioned earlier, because the government, ever since the independence of the country, have admitted that they need private sector to also help them with higher education. Next, please. The challenge of higher education in Indonesia, there are actually very interesting facts about the challenges that we have, that we faced in Indonesia. We faced a paradigm shift of quality assurance due to its input process output outcome change. The dawn of outcome-based education is here, where the learning outcomes of each course is clearly described, and that each outcome will be attained through various methods and approaches. The learning activities lead to the attainment of competencies, that is knowledge, skills, and attitude, should be done not only in the process of education, but also in the outcome process of education, which means that we have to evaluate the quality of graduates long after they complete their study period. Many aspects actually can be evaluated through this kind of measurement. We call it here tracer study atau survei lulusan. Many aspects can be evaluated through tracer study. For instance, the relationship between higher education and work, job satisfaction, relevance of higher education, and many other. In short, the evaluation covers activities long after one has completed their studies. Another thing worth mentioning about the challenge of higher education is the database of the institution, which cover data on students, teachers, teaching and learning activities, which is maintained by the Directorate General of Higher Education. It has to be open to public and updated regularly by each institution to support internal and external quality assurance system. Another challenge that is before us is the technology in education, which will actually help manage its activity according to the availability of time of the students. There are actually, we can say that many new technological method of learning has been introduced, especially in the pandemic era in Indonesia. Next, please. The COVID-19, yes, the impact of COVID. Thank you very much. The COVID-19 pandemic started more than 2 years ago and has been the most disruption of time that has impacted education. The emergence of COVID-19 pandemic has forced the whole nation to limit their mobilities, except those that concern health, economic, and public sector. This pandemic has closed all schools buildings, with no exception, due its fatalities of the virus. Therefore, the government urged all schools to continue learning activities by using technology, because we could not risk the future of the young generation with the absence of education. A nation relies on its young generation for its future. Therefore, any means of transferring knowledge, be it sophisticated or not, should be used for this purpose. Along the way of the nation in waiting stage, we have, however, witnessed the advancements of science and scientific breakthrough. No vaccine trial had received approval from authorities in a very short time. In short, science and technology raced to end the catastrophic pandemic. While waiting for the vaccine miracle to happen, we Indonesian, as many other nations in the world, found its way to the homes of the students. Teachers are present in the children's study room. Governments urge schools to adopt a variety of flexible teaching and learning approaches, and online education is one of the available media for knowledge transfer. So the era of online classroom, facilitated by meeting or online devices such as Zoom, MS Teams, Google Meet, and the like. So those are the media that transfer us to the home of the students. For almost 3 years of studying from home, some students find it convenient to study from their bedroom. And so we are also used to dealing with online activities from meeting, family gathering, church services, studying, working, and many other. Anything now can be done through online. Now students are reluctant to go back to traditional classroom because they are now more convenient doing studying with online. The pandemic has impacted the number of students in higher education. The Director General of Higher Education stated that the number of students in higher education decreased by 20 to 30% because of the pandemic, meaning the goal of producing quality human resource is in jeopardy. However, some study programs, humanities in this case, accepted more students because humanities study programs usually needs no laboratory or practices or require the students to meet people or use special equipment. The challenge of technology in education. Next, please.
Next, please.
Next, please. Thank you. So we see now that people are very convenient studying from home. We see that technology actually help us in education, thus producing quality graduates in the future. And we see now that technology innovations also allowed learners to study at their own pace. And this is very interesting because, in other words, I can say that technology helped in realizing what we dream of, which is inclusive education. Advancement of technology can now support people with disabilities to overcome some of the barriers causing them in their exclusion. For example, ICT complements other face-to-face method and tools. And this also helps people with disability so they can work and study at their own pace. Computers are often used to support children with dyslexia. And there are many softwares available to help children with dyslexia. Assistive technology helps students or helps children with autism, and etc. With the development of computers and adaptive technology, electronic communication allows participation by all individuals, regardless of their disabilities. So how about technology in education, a case of Indonesia? Next, please.
Next slide, please.
Oops, no.
Okay.
So what happened in Indonesia? We see that Indonesia is a very, very big country. It is the biggest archipelago in the world. And from, I think it is Professor Zehetner who said that from the, I think it is you, yeah, who mentioned that from west to the east, it takes 5 hours by plane. So you can see that the Indonesia is very big, and reaching out to those living in the most north part of Indonesia and most southern part of Indonesia takes time, takes effort, and it is actually can be made possible with the advancement of technology. Issues of higher education in Indonesia is actually not only good quality of schools, but also the quality of facilities and also other facilities, yeah, that is needed by education. And another thing that Indonesia faces is that the increase of gross national enrollment. So we see that the participation of higher education in Indonesia is now only 34%, and the government will increase the gross enrollment rate up to 50% in the year of 2035. And this, again, will only be made possible with the involvement of technology. With the fast Indonesia, yeah, with the situation of Indonesia, I think technology is the best solution that we can give to Indonesia in order to reach the goal of national development in the near future. Conclusion, please. So actually, the COVID-19 pandemic is demonstrating why online education should be a vital part of teaching and learning in Indonesia. So from 2 years, we learned that learning and teaching activity can be done online. Of course, we are risking the quality of skills, but rather than not gaining anything, I think online education is the best option we had during the pandemic. And integrating technology to the curriculum is also important. And the government program, which is increasing the gross enrollment rate, which is 16% by the year of 2034, can also be realized with the technology use. But then one problem which is very fundamental arises. How can we revise the government's regulation concerning distance and open education? This regulation is given to the Open University and several privileged schools. So without the pandemic situation, we can never use online devices to deliver knowledge to our students. It is only given to several schools. Therefore, it is of utmost importance for Indonesian government to revise its regulation so that more people can be included into the education system, particularly in tertiary or higher education. And I am very sure that the gross enrollment rate that the government of Indonesia has declared will be realized by the year 2034. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much to Madam Ia. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we already hear from two speakers. Before we continue to the third speakers, we have a traditional dance later. And then I want to remind you that after the third speaker, we have Q&A session. So if you have any question, let us know in the Q&A session. And then for the traditional dance, I give to the MC.
All right, thank you very much, Bu Santri. So we thank you to the first two speakers who already give valuable talks. Now everyone, let us continue our event by watching the performance of Jaipong dance from West Java. Let's give big a round of applause. Thank you very much. Now everyone, let us continue to our third public lecture session. To Ms. Santri, the moderator, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Bu Bene. And here we are. We back to the stage for public lecture for the third speaker, Dr.Andus Kerdid Simbolon, M.Pd, who are the Dean of Faculty, Teacher, Training and Education. And here we are. Sir, you have 25 minutes
25
to
minutes.
talk. Okay, this time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for all of you, my dearest audience, and especially for my dearest friend, Mr. Andreas. Thank you, sir. I'm proud with you now, and also to Mr. Peter. Good morning, sir, and Mr. Sigmund. Thank you, sir. I'm very proud with you now in this building. Okay. At the first time, I say to you, I beg your pardon to excuse me for my poor English. What I to try to say something about the education, about the technology. My topic is readiness level of parents, a student guide in online learning. From this topic, I will to tell you what is the problem in education, what is the problem in online learning. This is the result of one study which Professor Contina and Dr. Ernie Murniati, which me at 2021 before. As a preliminary or background of discussion is, before COVID-19 pandemic and after, during the COVID-19 pandemic. At the first is, all school activity are in school before, so far. But after or during the COVID-19 pandemic, the school activity are carried out at home. This is one problem. Yeah. And the second is the teacher's jobs in to teach at school, but at the COVID-19 pandemic, turning to parent. Yeah. So responsibility of the parents is increased in this time. In the COVID-19 pandemic, also in online learning continues to forward. And the third is, the problem of teaching children was fully handed over by teachers in school. But now it is different. It is turned to parents at home. But
Slide, please.
the parent is not necessarily or ready to play a role of as a substitute of teacher. This is one problem too. And the fourth is parents' responsibility now increase. Besides the work at home, with children, they have give assistance to their children as long as COVID-19 pandemic. This is the preliminary one, and this research problem is how the readiness of parents to accompany their children in online learning during the pandemic. Or the goal is how to identification the readiness, the level readiness of our parents to accompany their student, their children in learning during the during the COVID-19 pandemic. Next. But the problem is not one. The problem in online learning is not one, but still concern the readiness of parents in various aspects of one online learning. I say to you, there are 7 problems too, and the first one is end of using information technology equipment. What does it mean? The parent is end user of technology equipment. And the question is, are they know the technology equipment? Are they can use the technology equipment? Are they have enough technological tools or technological equipment? This is the nice question. This is important question to our education, also to our government. Competence in understanding children's subject. When parents teach, accompany their children as long as a COVID-19 pandemic, it is not certainly that they understand, the children's subject. Although there are, in this research, they are take from higher education or above, it is not a certainty one. Sometimes they do not understand the children's subject. So this is one problem again. And the fourth is readiness in providing internet quota. This is also nice question. This is also important thing. What is this question for this point? Frankly speaking, this point want to say that ability, the economic ability in the family. If one family have a good economic, we make sure that they are fulfill internet quota, they are fulfill what is their children, how to support their children. It is also one problem. Enthusiasm to persuade children to learn online. How the parent in this research persuade their children to learn online? This is one question also. And the sixth point, the willingness of parents to give time to teach the children. Are they have willingness? Are they have time to give? Are they have to give time to teach their children? If one parent's going out from home at 6 o'clock this morning and go home at 7 o'clock this evening, I think they have no time to teach their children. They have no time to accompany their children at home. So they have no enthusiasm. They have no willingness. And the last is also the readiness of parents to accompany the children during learning and step up tasks lovingly without emotion. This is very nice to discuss. Are the parents step up their task lovingly, dengan sepenuh hati, without emotion? Yes, this is, I think is quite important to answer this question. Next. This is just research methodology. I think next to slide. I want to tell you a little about research sample. This research is at 2021. There are total number of 38 people whose children attend to primary school, junior high school, senior high school. I think it's enough about research sample. And now I next to going to do one definition, next slide, to one definition of online learning by Michael Molinda. What is its definition? Online learning is a means of connecting learners, teacher, and student while still using their learning resources from database, expert libraries. What differences can be seen from a physical perspective, where student and teacher have physically separated, even far away, but can communicate with each other. I think one definition in this day I tell to you, and I am going to the next slide, to the result of this research, our research. At the question number 1 in our research, say like that. They accompany their children to stay at home during COVID-19 pandemic. What is the result? From the side picture, we can see most of respondents answer yes. There are 82%, just 2% do not answer no. What does it mean? This means that regardless the characteristic of ability, tanpa mempertimbangkan kemampuan, the level of direct parental involvement in teaching their children at home is very high. In this sample research, the parents' involvement in teaching their children is very high, more than above 80%. This is the result of question number 1. Now I'm going to question number 2. Question number 2 says, trying to help children learning by doing their own tasks from school. At the question number 1, say they are accompany or they are teach. But in the question number 2, the parent try to help their children to do their children's own homework that given from school. And what's the result? There are 68% parents try to help their children to the level of doing their own tasks from school. And respondents who did not reach such a level, there were 12 people, 32%. This means that most of the parents, 82%, who accompanied their children during the COVID-19 pandemic, question number 1, decreased from 26 to 26 or 68% are very likely from highly education respondent. Yes, that's the result of question number 2. I'm going to question number 3, checking or asking for children's duties, work given from school. And the result is, there are 95% parents who check about the children's duty given from the school. At the number 1, they are to accompany their children. And the question number 2, they are trying to do the homework of their children. And the question number 3 is, they are checking or asking about duty or work their children from school. And the result is very high. 95% parents check their children duties from school. Now I'm going to question number 4. Reporting children's learning condition at home to teacher. What is the result of this question? There are 63% parents responsible to reporting the condition of their children's learning at home to teacher or to the school. But there are more than 37% net communication responsibilities to the teacher.
5 minutes more, sir.
Thank you. And now I'm going to question number 6. Sometimes lack of understanding of children's subject. I think this is very much, this is the most one of the result of research. Why? Because it is about understanding of the parents about their children's subject. And what's the result of this question? Most of respondents, 82% sometimes do not understand the children's subject. What does it mean? Although the respondent of the research, ever take a higher education or above, but is not certainty that they understand that they understand the children subject. I think also is this one very nice to discuss in others time. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to question number 7, the second last. Want their children to study at home during the pandemic. What is the result? The number of respondents, the parents I mean, who want their children to study at school and those who want their children to study from home are the same, 50-50. 50% to want to study their children at home and 50% also who want their students study at school. Yeah. But what the reason for this positive result? I want to tell you, I'm sure that the parent whose children stay at primary school surely want their children to study from home. Why? Maybe because their children is a little boy cannot to protect their life from pandemic viruses, COVID viruses. And the parent whose children stay at the higher education or above, I think they want their children study at school. And the last one is question number 8. What is this? Stress when you have difficulty understanding the assignment given by the teacher. This is about this is about the stress or among a sample, among parents in this research. And the result is, there are 47% of respondents become stressed in doing their children work from school. This is almost to 50-50, yeah? But it is dangerous, I think, if one group of parents, a half of them is stressed. It is very dangerous, I think. But we have to answer this question in the next time. We have to answer all of the online learning question by to fulfill our teaching and learning with the technological equipment. I think we can to answer this all of this question because this is only a part of our result of the result. But I think the end I can say for you about one problem who take the readiness level of the parents during the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you. Give him applause. Okay, thank you, Dr. Andreas Kerdid Simbolon for the talks. Actually, we already have 3 speakers with us, and we are going to a Q&A session. From Professor Zehetner, we learned about the opportunity to study abroad, international relation, and also Professor Zehetner said that his research about artificial intelligence, it's international relations are open now to the whole world and also to all of us. So for all of students, you have a chance and you have opportunity to study abroad to Upper Austria, right, Prof? Right, yes. Okay, and then for the second speaker from Dr.rer Veda, Vice-Rector of UKI, we already learned about the technology in education and its impact during the pandemic, maybe in UKI, right, ma'am? In Indonesia, so the conclusion is for the whole Indonesia because this is just the sample, and then from the research we have the technology impact for the education. And then the third one, from Dr. Andreas Kerdid Simbolon, we learn something different about parents. The readiness of parents guiding her or their children in online learning. And as we know, as we hear from Dr. Kerdid Simbolon, parents provide and accompanies their kids, right, sir? Accompany their kids during the online learning. So here we have Q&A session, and also we have audience from online by Zoom. If you have any question, let us know. And we have 2 sessions in this Q&A. Please raise hand. We have 3 persons for the first session. Okay, Ma'am Susan for the first one, and then? Okay, and then the students from left side. And then for the third one in this session, do you have any question? Okay, we have 3 persons. So all of you, may you start and give the question using that microphone. And please mention your name and your question is to who?
That's that. Can you? Okay, the question is for everyone. So you are all responsible. So currently I am thinking about Society 5.0. So I think the Japanese are creating this society, but then it is hard for me to understand right now. But then I was thinking, since you're talking about digital technology in teaching and learning, what is your opinion, or do you see that maybe in the future we don't need human teachers anymore? What do you say about that? Because of the AI and all this Metaverse and all this stuff. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Susan, for the question. That's a great question about your opinion about the human teacher for the future, Society 5.0. Okay, for the second one, you may go to the microphone.
Check. Thank you for the opportunity you have given to me. My question for Prof. Andreas. According to your statement that one of the learning media used by the student is technology, sir. For one example, the use by upper university student is Google Web. Well, sir, the problem is we find so many bias or incorrect information while using the Google Web.
Pardon, could you repeat it again because here is not clear. Yeah. Mungkin bisa agak dijauh. Come up and show me. Yeah. Sister students, you may come to the stage. Yes, just come to the stage. It's not clear, yeah.
According to your statement that one of the learning media used by the students is technology, for one example, the use by upper university student is Google Web. Well, sir, the problem is we find so many bias or incorrect information while using the Google Web. How can we choose articles that can help us in making a research report, especially for us as the chemistry education students that will be a future teacher? Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much. Please mention your name. Hello, pardon. Mention your name, please. What's your name?
I am Santia Romita Mansa.
Santia. Okay. Thank you, Santia. She's a student from chemistry education. Yeah. And then the third one. Okay, from here. Okay, please mention your name first and your question is to whom. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for Miss Santi for the opportunity. My name is J. Teofani Sinaga. I am from Physics Department. And first, I want to say thank you for
From
our
Physics
speaker
Education.
for your presentation today. That's so interesting and very motivating. Now, I want to ask to Prof. Andreas. The first, according to Sir, what are the suggestions or solutions for a student to always keep abreast of technological development and don't miss out, where we do not fall into the bad impact of technological development, but make technology as our opportunity to start new things, such as creating new ideas, especially in our learning. As Sir said, that higher education is a strategy board game. And the second, I want to know what are some examples of digital
So
technology?
Professor Zehetner needs you to come to the stage again. Okay. Okay.
According, Sir, what are the suggestions or solutions for our students to always keep abreast of technological development and don't miss out, where we do not fall into the bad impact of technological development, but make technology as opportunity to start new things, such as creating new ideas, especially in our learning. As Sir said, that in presentation is higher education is a strategy for
Okay, okay.
and number two,
Yeah. And I repeat the question then, yeah?
yes.
Okay, got it. And the next one?
The next, I want to know what are some examples of digital technology that
we
you
use.
are used in your university can allow you to apply them in university, especially in science.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Jay Sinaga from Physics Education, from Faculty Teacher and Training and Education. Wow, great interaction. Okay, so we have three questions here from Ma'am Susan, and then for Cynthia, and then from Jay. And here we are, Jay. Jay. Yeah, Jay. Yeah, only Jay. Okay, so we'll start. We'll give the answer first for Madam Susan, maybe, or okay. Professor Zehetner, you may go first.
The first question was, will we need any more teachers in the future? And you mean human teachers? Yeah, what should I say now? I have 10 years to retirement. Somehow I need to bridge this. No. The serious answer is, it is a problem. There is a ranking of jobs in the world with their likelihood of being replaced by technology. The last one, the last job on this list, being not very likely to be replaced by technology at any time, is not the teacher. It's the dentist. It's the dentist. Yeah. teachers rank somewhere in the middle. So there is, of course, the possibility through technology that teachers might be not replaced but complemented by technology, meaning, for instance, that teachers, human teachers, very easily can multiply their knowledge. Massive open online conferences or streaming to other places, which is very good for remote destinations. And there are already attempts to use artificial intelligence to better explain complex relationships. However, I do not expect in the next decades that there will be no human teachers anymore. Rather, it is a complementation, it's an additional factor that can help make human teachers better. That's at least what I hope. Yeah?
Okay, thank you, Professor. Maybe for the next speaker.
Well, this is a very interesting, not question, comment from you, Susan. I don't know if, I don't think teacher for the next 50 or 100 years can be replaced, human teacher, can be replaced by robots because robots have no feels. Although although the Professor Zehetner school can now produce a limb, that can feel, but then the human feelings cannot be replaced for the next few decades, I hope. And also, concerning in Indonesia's setting, I don't think it will be replaced that soon, If the robots can replace human teacher in big cities, we can always go to the mountainous area and teach there. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. And then for the third...
If I may add one sentence. If the relationship between a teacher and a student is a personal relationship. If we can replace human teachers by robots, the next question would be, can we replace family members by robots? It is a human relationship. And I don't agree that we can replace family members by robots. So we might not be able to replace teachers by robots also.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. It's great. Okay. Then for...
Yes, human teachers. I think human teachers is connecting to values, social values, connecting to religions, and the two of these, I think, never change by the technology. But indeed, many of our subject learning or instruction learning, it can be changed by the technology. But although a little about values, but it's big one. Although a little about religions, but it is the big size. So I agree with Mr. Andreas says that the two of it's a component, not deleted one, but one to build another. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Simbolon, for the answer. Is it clear, ma'am? I think it's clear. Two more? Yes, two more questions for Professor Zehetner.
Satya, your question was, how can I use technology, and you specifically talked about Google, to find good literature, good research papers. The answer is very simple. Understand the language and the algorithms of these search engines. How are we using Google normally? There is the line, and we input one word after the other, and click the button and hope that something arrives. And then we have 2 million of findings. If you understand the algorithms and the language of Google search engine, you are 10 times better off. And you can find this super easily. There is an instruction about Google how to use the different codes with which you can limit your findings. That's one thing, and we don't do that, but please learn the language of search engines, number one. And number two, there are specialized search engines for scientific purposes. Yeah? Go into those. Google Scholar is one of them, but there are many others that are much more specific to your area. Don't use the superficial Google search and go into those specific engines. Learn the language of those search algorithms and go into specific methods, and you are 10 times better off. And third, don't rely only on technology. Ask your professors for advice. They know, and they know where to find. And they are human beings, so you can ask them in natural language. Santia, did this answer your question? She's already searching Google Scholar. Yeah.
I think that's a great answer. Do you got the answer, or is it clear for you,
Okay,
Cynthia?
good for you? Yeah.
Is it clear? Oh yeah, understand. Okay, great. Thank you, Cynthia, for the response. Okay, we have the third one.
Yeah,
okay, one more.
That's
From
the last.
Jay.
But actually, two questions. First, it is a very. Where are you?
In the middle one. Yeah.
Here. That was a very long question. It was a bachelor thesis rather than a question. But to make it very short, in essence, you asked how to embrace how can we as students embrace technology without falling victim, so without only relying on that. And that's hard to answer because you have so much access to technologies. We discussed it yesterday. Logical reasoning. Do not believe everything that you read, and use one of the principles of good journalists. And a journalist does always double check. A journalist uses a source and uses another source and compares these two. If there is a contradiction, they do not make an average, but they use a third source and try to go beyond. That's the one thing. And the other thing is, again, like I said before, talk to people. Ask people for advice, ask them for a hint, ask them for a source. Do that, then nothing can go wrong. There was one question, and the other question is examples of technologies that we are using. We are using those that I guess also you are using, massive open online courses, streaming lectures. We have labs that, for instance, do work into facial recognition, emotion recognition. We have a digital sales lab, but actually we do not use anything that is very special. We just use the technologies that are available and affordable and helpful to us and the students. Yeah. So we are not the geniuses.
Okay, thank you, Professor Zehetner. How about your response, Jay? Is it clear for you? Okay, thank you, Jay. Actually, this time already 12:40, so we stop here for the Q&A. Sorry for if you have question. Is it okay if we just send the question for you later and give the answer after this public lecture? Okay, your email. Okay, good. So if you have any question, Professor Zehetner are open to us. If you have questions, just sending email to him. Okay. And actually, I interested for your material before you explain about that international relation or how we face the challenges in this world. You say that because this is on all of us here, more I think around 90, right? 90 students here from faculty, teacher training and education. So they are become a teacher in the future. Actually, the problem is when we have collaboration like this, we hope that our students go to your university for studying abroad. But actually, we are not confident for that. Sometimes, most of students not confident for that. For the closing statement, I hope that may you give us opinion or a suggestion how we prepare ourselves as a students to study abroad, especially to University of Applied Science Upper Austria. How we prepare ourselves, because sometimes we are not confident for the language or for the content, because most of us is from education. So for the closing statement, I invite you to tell us the strategy. Yes, the strategy, like chess game, because I like to play this chess game. So we need strategy to go to there.
I'm teaching also cultural studies to my students, and I'm always telling my students, if they are planning to go abroad, try to find a book that has been written by an author from the country that you are interested in, and that has, of course, a translation to a language that you can read. Read a book. That's number one. Secondly, and now technology comes into the game. For you, it's much easier than it was for me 20, 30 years ago to abroad. Try to find communities in Instagram, in LinkedIn, if you wish, still in Facebook or in TikTok. Yeah? Go to that communities and ask the people for advice. It has never been so easy to connect to people from other countries and other cultures than it is now. So don't be shy. Go into that communities. There is a community of international students in Austria. You find them very easily on Facebook. Go there and say, I'm from Indonesia. I want to study for 6 months in Austria. Can you help me? Can you share experience? Can you let me know what is expecting me? And the third thing, and I told you, Peter, about this story. There was a farmer, or a manager who wanted to become a farmer in Austria many years ago, a wine farmer. And I asked him how he did that. And he said, I had 3 things not. I did not have money, I did not have a wine garden, and I did not have any fear. No money, no wine garden, and no fear. I would advise you to have no fear. Just go there. Nothing can happen. People take care of you, and your experience is 10 times bigger than your fears that you might have had. Right? That's my advice. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Professor. That's a great suggestion to us. Wow, great. So do not fear. For all of us, do not fear. Just try, search, and try, search, try, and search, and do not fear. Okay? And Upper Austria open to us to internship go there, right? Professor, okay, good. And here we have the end of this session. So I invite you to stand up and please give a closing statement to the audience from, yes, just closing statement like conclusion.
So I'm not really ready for the closing statement, but then, so thank you very much for this very good opportunity to be here talking to you with a very distinguished guest of ours, Professor Andreas De Hepner from Fachhochschule Oberösterreich. Thank you very much for sharing the experience, also the tips, and encourage all the students to come here. And please remember, students, that you are you belong to a privileged number who have the opportunity to study in higher education level. So really take the opportunity to gain as much experience as you can. And let's not just study here in Indonesia, but expand your network overseas, because to us academics, sky is the limit. Thank you very much.
Yes, also thank you very much for the nice moderation.
Okay, thank
Thanks to my colleagues for sharing, and thanks to the university management for allowing us to do this. And also thank you to you, because you colleagues, students, you invested something in this session which is very valuable. You invested your time. So you had already, think back on this value equation, you had already your cost. You paid already for it with your valuable time. Now take the benefit. Try to take something with you from what has been discussed here by my colleagues. Be brave, don't be afraid, and take the splendid opportunity that you have, that you are young and you can explore the world. That will change when you are settled, when you have your home, your family. Now you can do it. Do it, please. All the best to that.
Okay, great.
Yes, thank you. And I also to say thank you for my friend Andreas De Hepner. Thank you very much, Mr. About your kindness to me, about your kindness coming to Indonesia. You will give us deep insight, I think. So we can to struggling any handicap that I say just now. Also to you, Mr. Peter Kramser, thank you, sir. Sigmund Nemati, thank you for your kind coming to this university. You have give us an interesting, I think, yeah. This meeting is very glorious for me, and I'm proud with standing here with my friend from Europe, from Upper Austrian. It is, I think, our time. This is time for us to begin the new one, to internalization class, to internalization cooperation like now. Okay, I think I am very glad to all of you, my dearest audience, this now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Simbolon. One more time, okay, so we have someone, just want to talk?
Hello.
Okay.
Yes, I'm Peter. I must say the presentation were very, very nice and fruitful. I would take the opportunity to give you two items. Item number one, we are going to establish a team which is basically helping you for moving towards Austria. So you'll never be alone. You have questions, we will answer that to you, and it will be for you a help for 1 to 4 years. Yeah, this is number one. My personally opinion is, and I would accelerate you, that you have a big spirit and you know as fast as possible what you would like. So go think now what you want to do, because in your life, and you are the future, you are the asset of Indonesia, but you must be prepared to be flexible. The future is maybe 2-3 times you have to change the job. You have never give up to learn. So it is a fantastic future which is waiting for you. But you have to take it. Yeah? And as soon as possible, you know, and compare. And please ask Professor Zehetner also, what is the best opportunity? What can I do? How much is the cost? We will help you in every aspect. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Peter.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And we may go to our seat. Thank you so much for our speakers. Give them applause, a big applause. And then for the next session, I give to the Miss Benny.
All right, thank you very much for all the esteemed speakers and the moderator for today. Now we invite all the speakers and moderator to stay here, to come forward the stage, because we will have the photo session together. So for Professor Andreas Zehetner, Dr. Kerdid, Dr. Iyad, and also the moderator, Ibu Santri, along with Dr. Sigmund Namati and Professor Peter Kramser. Please come forward to the stage. All right, everyone, please take a look on the official camera. Okay, we invite the Dean of Faculty of Letters and Languages, along with the Director of International Office and Vice Dean. And also the lecturers. Yes, the Head of Study Programs.
Gimana BPL?
To all the esteemed speakers and also the officials, please be seated because we are still having another agenda, which is the closing event. All right, everyone. So we come into the token of appreciation ceremony. To all the esteemed speakers for today's public lecture, and also the moderator, please come again to the stage. We invite Professor Andreas De Hepner, Dr. Sitepu, Dr. Kerdid Simbolon, and Ibu Santri. Please come forward to the stage because we are starting to give the token of appreciation. For Professor Andreas Zehetner, please come forward. Dr. Kerdid Simbolon, as the Dean of Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Universitas Kristen Indonesia, is giving token of appreciation to Professor Andreas Zehetner, Vice President International, University of Applied Science, Upper Austria. Please give big a round of applause. Thank you very much. Now we invite Dr. Sitepu to come to the stage. And also Ibu Stevi as Vice Dean, Faculty of Teacher Training and Education. Ibu Stevi Natalia as Vice Dean of Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Universitas Kristen Indonesia, is giving the token of appreciation to Dr. Sitepu, Vice-Rector for Student Affairs and Cooperation. Please give big round of applause. Thank you very much. Now we invite again Dr. Kerdid Simbolon to come forward to the stage, and also Ibu Asri Purnamasari as Director of International Office, Universitas Kristen Indonesia. Ibu Asri Purnamasari is giving token of appreciation to Dr. Kerdid Simbolon, Dean of Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Universitas Kristen Indonesia. Please give big a round of applause. Thank you very much. So last but not least, let's welcome the moderator for today's public lecture, Ibu Santri Purba, to come forward to the stage, and also Pak Sunarto. Okay, so Pak Manogari, please come forward to the stage. Pak Manogari is giving token of appreciation to Ibu Santri Purba as the moderator for today's public lecture. Please give a big round of applause. All right, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, now we come into the end of our event. We would like to invite Ibu Stefi Natalia, the Vice Dean of Faculty of Teachers Training and Education, Universitas Kristen Indonesia, to lead us in closing prayer.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will soon end our event in prayer. Please allow me to lead the prayer according to the Christian faith. Let's pray. All praise and gratitude we pray in your presence, Lord. Cause of your blessing and mercy, we've carried out the signing of cooperation and public lecture well today. We are grateful for the cooperation agreement that took place between Universitas Kristen Indonesia and the University of Applied Science Upper Austria. May God accompany this cooperation so that it can be well established and produce great works in building education and the progress of our nation. We are also grateful that God accompanied this public lecture activity today. Thank God for all the speakers who have shared knowledge with us all. If we can develop this knowledge in maximizing our work in our respective places, God bless every commit and team involved, and may all their toil and hard work of God be replaced with joy and strength. Finally, every committee can remain a blessing wherever they are. Thank you, God, for all your blessings. We will end our activities and continue our respective duties. May God bless each of our work. We lift this imperfect prayer to you, O Lord. Only in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Bu Stefi Natalia. All right, everyone, so this is the end of our event. Thank you very much for your participation. Now we're inviting all the officials, speakers, lecturers, and staffs to stay here at Grha William Soerjadjaya. And we also thank you very much for all the students for your active engagement to this event. See you and thank you.
Kami dari Biologi 2021, Universitas Kristen Indonesia membawakan lagu Hati-Hati di Jalan dari Tulus.
Additional announcement to Professor Andreas De Hepner, Professor Peter Kramser, and also Dr. Sigmund Manati. We invite you all to come forward to the stage to have photo session with the dancers, the students. Thank you.
Bertemu denganku, bertemu sepertimu yang ku cari, konon aku juga seperti yang kau cari. Kira kita asam dan garam, dan kita bertemu di belakang. Kisah yang ternyata tak seindah itu. Kukira kita akan bersama, begitu banyak yang sama, latarmu dan latarku. Kukira takkan ada kendala, kukira ini kan mudah, kau aku sudah tidak istimewa. Entah apa maksud dunia, tentang ujung cerita kita tak bersama. Semoga rindu ini menghilang, konon katanya waktu sembuhkan, akan adakah lagi yang sepertimu? Kukira kita akan bersama, begitu banyak yang sama, latarmu dan latarku. Kukira takkan ada kendala, kukira ini kan mudah, kau aku jadi kita. Kau melanjutkan perjalananmu, melanjutkan perjalananku. Kukira kita akan bersama, begitu banyak yang sama, latarmu dan latarku. Kukira takkan ada kendala, kukira ini kan mudah, kau aku jadi kita. Bersama hati-hati di jalan, hati-hati di jalan.
Jauh di sana di ujung dunia, aku datang